I can't wait for you to challenge me. I see so many data points of the tide turning in terms of President Trump's power, in terms of his poll numbers, in terms of people fighting back. I mean, as you know, so many people on Substack have been like, what do we do? What's the action plan? It's starting to happen.
It is essentially the newspaper mouthpiece of the administration. And for those of you that don't read newspapers, most of us do not, here is the cover today. And I found it astounding. If you cannot see that, it reads, "This is a dictator." They make it very, very clear who is the dictator and who is not. Mark Levin, for those that don't know Mark, is probably one of the two or three biggest voices of MAGA.
I don't know why there are people that not only oppose Zelensky, but seem to support Putin. It's bizarre. And so Zelensky's latest poll, he's at 57%. The parliament, with all parties in the parliament, support what he's doing. They're trying to survive. Ukraine did not invade Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine.
Here's the next. Everybody on Substack knows MeidasTouch. They are brothers who are pro-democracy, and they have a very successful Substack platform. So they also apparently now have the #1 podcast. They've just dethroned Joe Rogan. Okay, Joe Rogan is a household name. These guys aren't a household name yet. But they just, let me give you some stats. They had 56 million downloads this week. That compares to Joe Rogan's 48 million. Obviously huge numbers. But here's the point. Theirs is up 100% in the past month. What does that tell you? People want their content. They want pro-democracy truth now. They don't just want a fun hang with the bros or to hear something that is not actually based in fact and based in truth. And isn't that great news? I mean, there's always this feeling of, well, the right wing just knows how to broadcast better than those dummies on the left. Those dumb shit Democrats don't know they don't know how to have any slogans. They don't know how to do anything like that. And now the audience will find the truth. They are seeking it out in this podcast. And I think that's really encouraging.
I'll be frank, I had not heard of them prior to this, prior to the articles that I've seen in the overtaking of Joe Rogan. I know you described them as pro-democracy. Wouldn't you describe them as a left-leaning outlet first?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. My particular take on this is less about Joe Rogan, who is still, I believe, easily the most influential member of the media, whatever you think the media is today. I don't think it's particularly close, regardless of these downloads. This is a moment for them. Can they have lasting appeal? I actually think the biggest takeaway I have here is this is really bad news for the death of television. And we've seen it for a while. We've seen eroding cable numbers from CNN and MSNBC in particular off a cliff since the election. That to me is the real big takeaway here. If I'm them, I'm terrified. They are bleeding. People are fleeing. The numbers are plummeting. And if you look at the numbers for Meidas, it's far greater than I believe MSNBC and CNN combined at the moment. So I really think, and yes, there is an element of here that it is an anti-Trump sentiment, but I also think this is an anti-mainstream media, and they must be shaking in their collective multi-billion-dollar boots.